Hello, good morning or evening, whatever time of the day that you are actually on the internet watching this video. So good news, I did actually drive the Range Rover to Charlotte because I needed the SUV. Because if you remember, I was trying to fix that light and we had a little bit of a snag, a little bit more work than I thought it was gonna be. And I was kind of wondering whether or not it made sense to try to take the whatever this thing is, the adaptive front headlights, and convert this non-adaptive one into an adaptive one. I feel like these are the right words. We're just gonna go with this. Because this is gonna be a lot more work, because I'm actually gonna have to take this housing apart, and that's not gonna be fun at all. So I was wondering if it was actually worth the time to do it. Yes it is. I looked up what these are going for on the internet, and they're like $800 for a used one. A few thousand for a new one. So yes, it's worth my time. Okay, so I in order to not get pulled over, I kind of put this light back in. So now I need to take it back out again, and then pick up where I left off. So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna get like Betty Crocker up in here, I think. We'll see. Man, these things are actually really easy to work on. Everybody always complains about it. Piece of cake. All right. I gotta show you what I did. So, none of this is actually hooked up. There's nothing there, no headlights. I kind of cheated a little bit. So I just took the harness and stuck it in here so water wouldn't get into the headlight and ruin it. Because I haven't. Hey, hi, there you go. I haven't done the fender liner yet, right? So it kind of occurred to me that this was basically just gonna be spraying water into my headlight. I didn't want that. Basically, I already done that over here. So, yeah, we've got one fish tank. We don't need a second one. I kind of wasn't kidding when I said I was gonna Betty Crocker this. I have done this once before on the, man, it is really hard. Have you ever tried to walk and follow a camera at the same time? Not as easy as it looks. Okay, so I have done this once before on the Aston Martin. I did fix one of the headlights on the Aston Martin, and it's really hard to get the glue out. So these things are held in with all these little clips, which these just pop right out. Way easier when you have one hand, but trust me, they pop right out. We'll pop those clips out, and then they are glued in. So we're gonna put this in the oven and soften that up a little bit. Little 200 degrees? I don't know. We're gonna figure that out. I don't really know what the right answer is for this yet. Learn with me. Hope I don't melt this light. Alright, so this comes out, yeah, so there's that. And I know the trick this time, just kind of know the trick, quarter turn to the, easy, there we go, yeah, and then down, and then out. Okay, so plan is to put this in the oven, soften that up, pull the lens out, and then all these pieces come out. That piece goes in. I'm gonna have to fix a few things because they're bent and broken. And we'll see if we have enough spare parts to make one good headlight. If not, it's like 900 bucks. All right. Hot, 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 hot. Ah! Ah, ah. That actually worked. That is way easier than the last time I did that. So 200 to 200, 250, and make sure the oven warms up before you put the light in, and watch it for the 10 minutes that it's in there, because what you don't want is for the burner to kick on to try to bring the temperature up, because then it will start to melt the headlight because it's way hotter than the headlight can handle. So 250 for like 8 minutes. Okay, so other than dropping that, that's been pretty easy. We know what that was. All right, so if you round that adjuster off, it will pull it out far enough that you can just pop it out. And then this little guy is just a quarter turn. And, you know, voila. All right, so here is the ultimate question. Do I have enough spare parts to make this work? So we have the halogen, regular, whatever you want to call it. Not really halogen because it did have HID. Forget about it. This is the non-whatever AFS. Yes, okay. Regular, fancy. So a couple of things that we can see. So obviously this whole assembly with the motor at the bottom right there, and the wire harness there coming through. That is definitely different. The bracket looks the same. So this plastic frame does look identical. Looks like we've got, don't know why these are like this in this one, but this one does look like it's broken right there. So we cannot use that housing. And then this one, hopefully it doesn't matter. That's white, that's black. Hopefully it's the same size. We shall see. Obviously that bracket is there. This whole assembly right here is not present on that one. And yeah, hopefully the housings are the same. These both look identical. We might actually possibly be able to do this. So we just need to start taking this apart, I guess, and see what we can work with here, because this is gonna have to get transferred over to there. So I guess we should start with the quarter turn fasteners, because why not? Let's see if we get lucky. Maybe it'll just be like 2-second quick fix. Of course not. Oh, so close. Oh, I need to be left-handed. So this is the old one, older. This is the 06. That's the 09. And so this one, obviously, the housing is completely intact. This one is all the complicated crap with the broken shell. And from what I can tell, the shell ring is part of that housing, but it's got all this stuff in it, and I don't know what's the best way to do that. You do definitely have a few differences, although you can swap them. So here is the adjuster arm over here. Obviously that just screws right in. Interestingly enough, the adjustable one is missing these studs, but you have these balls screwed in, no stud or no piece there for the ball. Oh, I just noticed something. This little guy has the adjuster motor in it. That's what that little bracket is, that little connector. I never could figure out why that was different on them. That must be the level, which means I might be able to swap this. Might be easier than I thought. Okay, let's keep looking. So this should just, these are just clips right here. Let me see, right there. So now the projector lens is in there. I probably shouldn't be touching that, but this should theoretically just pull off. That is very scary. Okay, that guy goes up, remember that. So now we have our projector lens. So there is a difference in that housing, totally different housing. So those screws there, oh, that's so weird. It is totally different. They look so much similar, so much similar, so much similar. Can't speak. So I guess I am gonna have to take these apart. So this one mounts on these back studs. This clearly doesn't mount on these back studs. It goes, I'm clearly just gonna have to take these completely apart and pray that I don't forget where all this stuff goes. This is definitely more complicated. We're just gonna keep going. We'll just keep going. Worst case scenario, I buy a new headlight, which is what I was gonna have to do anyway. Never give up. You almost always are gonna be able to figure it out at the end. It's the high beams. That's how you get high, low beam, high beam, low beam, high beam, low beam. I'm sorry, I'm kind of a technical geek, and I think that is very, very cool because, okay, I gotta put that down. Because all this does is, it's just a shutter. So, wait, of course now I can't do it, but it's just a shutter. So when it's just blocking part of the headlight. So you're blocking the bottom, it's just creating a wall that goes right here. But because of the lens is gonna take that light and rotate it upwards. So when they flip that shutter up like that, it automatically cuts off the light on the top because of the lens. And the light up here is going down to the ground, and it's spring-loaded so that it will default to low beams. So even if this breaks, you lose high beams, but no low beams. On a really crappy note though, if your high beam breaks, that is gonna be expensive. Ooh, that is gonna be expensive if your high beam quits working. That is a new headlight assembly. Boy, that is rough. Man, that is rough. Okay, well, I wonder, should I clean this lens while I'm in here? Alright, that was the one that looked like it made sense. This one, I have no idea what this is going to look like. We're just going to unscrew everything we can. Alright, so there's one piece. Yeepers. Oh yeah, boy, that is mangled. You can see it. I mean, it's just bent all over the place. Gosh, I hope we can make this work. These are clearly the top mounts, so that's your pivot point, which hopefully I can retrofit this over there. And then this is your bottom pivot, one bottom pivot, and then your other bottom pivot, which is, gosh, that is gonna be tough to get to. These are so tiny. That is complicated. I don't know if you guys know how to make a headlight out of all of that. I'm not sure if I know how to make a headlight out of all of that. It's actually why I film these videos, just so I can go back and watch them and put it all back together again, because I will forget. It's not true. But I might have to do it 2 or 3 times. Okay. take this motor apart, but I think I have to. This is the part that it all goes wrong. I am so nervous. Really want to put you back. Really want to put you back. No, it's not enough. Yes, I can finagle it down just enough. Oh, I do have to leave that one out. Dang it. Don't ask me how I just did that. There are so many screws. Okay, what am I forgetting? It's gotta be something. Oh no. So close. So it turns out that these guys do not glue easily at all. So crazy glue, not an option. We are gonna need something a little bit stronger. Yeah. These things are actually turning out to be kind of a nightmare. So crazy glue absolutely did not work after setting it up for hours, and I couldn't figure out why. Luckily, I tested it because it kind of sort of worked, but the second I put any kind of pressure on this whatsoever, it just, close that door, it just fell apart. So I was looking a little bit closer at this, and embedded in this little piece of plastic are 3 little letters, and I think they said POM. Now, if you do a quick search on POM, what you find out is that it is a very durable plastic, kind of similar to Delrin, might even be Delrin. I don't really know, I'm not a plasticologist. Sounds actually right. But essentially, it is super freaking hard to bond this stuff. So what I ended up doing is an epoxy, the 5-minute epoxy stuff. But this stuff does not plastic weld. You cannot put any kind of material on there like model cement. It will not melt this plastic. The best that you can hope for is to either order Loctite 702 and 401, 771, and I don't know. There's a Loctite primer, and then there is a Loctite glue that does seem to do pretty good on this stuff. The epoxy, you have mixed results, but I sanded the living crap out of this and then epoxied it and then kind of ground it down. You can kind of see that that fits in there, but I had to notch the epoxy. Anyway, if you pull on this too hard, it will fall off, but, you know. The hell is that? If I die, it's on camera. That's less scary than I thought it would be. Oh, please don't be a snake. Please don't be a snake. I hope that's all that was. All right, well, now that the death noises are done and I have something that should be strong enough to hold up, let's put this light back together. This is, oh, it's kind of hard to see, but that's why I want to clean that. I should have done that beforehand. So that's there, that's there. We just got to figure out that without breaking it. The old no problem as long as you have 3 hands method. Huh. Okay. Starting to work. See, very important. So putting this in, it stopped before it tightened down. So did I keep tightening it? No, I did not. There are going to be some of these shorter than the others. So if you start tightening it and it stops, don't keep tightening it because you're gonna crack the plastic. Get a shorter one. By the way, there's so many leftover screws. Okay. Hey, there you go. And did that one tighten? That one did tighten. Man! Uh-oh. I don't remember if this trim ring was flat on the bottom or the top. But there's this piece right here, which kind of makes me nervous because it makes me think that the flat part should be at the top. I'll check, hold on. So here's the broken one, and that is how I set it down, which makes a lot of sense. See how the two flat parts are right there at the bottom? So I think I put that one on upside down. I'm gonna flip it over. I don't know what makes somebody good at fixing cars or being a good technician, but I think a lot of it is not that, how do I put this? Good mechanics, it's not that they don't make mistakes, it's that when they're making a mistake, they know they're making a mistake. Like you're tightening a screw and something like in the back of your head just says like, no, something's not right. Or like you're looking at a car, you're putting something back together and you don't know what's wrong, but you know something's wrong. I don't know if that's just years of experience, if that's certain people are better at it than others. I got no idea what that is, but a lot of times that is the number one thing. Like I've broken a lot of stuff. When I knew I was getting good at this, I would tighten a bolt and it would get tight and then it would feel funny. I used to think like, oh, this bolt's about to break, snap. When I knew I was getting good at working on cars was when I said, oh, I think this bolt's about to break. And I stopped. And I did something different. As crazy as that sounds, that is when I knew I was getting good at this. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense too. Also, that correlates to those holes right there in the bracket. It clicks right in. You had it the other way, those didn't line up at all. Oh, and there's 3 screws. All right, so I need another short screw. Got it. Okay, man, one of these days, Rob. All right, that makes more sense. Okay, starting to look like a headlight with no broken pieces. I should not have said that. I should not have said that. Okay. Case? Is the case the next part? I guess so. When reassembling something as complex as this, it does help to have a guide so that you know what the final product looks like, because nobody is that smart. Yes, so let's take a look at this case and let's inspect it and see what we come up with. So this is the one not out of the broken one, so it should be okay. We've got some of that butyl rubber, which if we melt, might kind of flow back in there. I'm hoping that'll stay waterproof. I'm hoping there's enough in there. The way I'm thinking about this is 1, I'm gonna dig out all of that insulation, and 2, it would be a lot smarter to lay the wire harness in here before putting in the light, right? That makes sense. Or putting the harness on the light. Either way, fishing the harness through here seems like a really bad idea. So let me fix the harness first, and then we'll reassemble the light second. Yes, that's the way we're gonna do this. That makes more sense. We're gonna go with that. All right, so here is the harness we're going to use. So we're gonna harvest that connector onto this one. I'm gonna inspect this for damage, make sure this is all good. We'll insulate any broken wire, which I think, yep, there's a little bit. So just a little 3M duct tape or electrical tape right there should be enough. As long as there's no broken wires, I'm gonna inspect the pins, make sure everything looks good. What else was I gonna do? You don't need to see me taping this because that's stupid. What else was there? Oh, ADHD. I knew there was something more. Oh, I gotta cut a hole. Yes, that's it. I gotta cut the hole in there first because remember, there is no opening in the bottom of that. So we're gonna Dremel that out and then we'll put it back together. There's actually more damage to this than I thought. So right there on these 2 wires, we've got some damage. We've got some damage right there on that connector. This guy, I did not know about. So see how that pin is pushed out right there? But this is also broken. So that's what it's supposed to look like. So we're gonna harvest that socket. We are going to try to harvest, either pull these leads out and just take this plastic piece out, or if we need to, we can cut and solder that and then just tape it all up. So it's not too bad. It's definitely usable, and it'll be better than new. That's probably not true because I'm not. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. It will be close enough. Hey! Yes. Ooh, that makes my life easy. Oh, that makes my life so much easier. Oh, yes. Sweet. Okay, that's one saved. Okay, so on this one, usually there's like, see that little guy right there? Usually there's like a plastic tab in the socket, and you put a little tiny, well, smaller than this, but you put a screwdriver in it and you can hold it back and the socket pries off. These, much cheaper. So these have these little grips right there. See how it flares out right there? So it presses in and that just digs against the side. So you just reach into the socket. I know the lighting sucks. And you just bend them in a little bit. And that'll pull right out. But, you know, of course, then you're going to have to bend this back out again. So that's, you know, I guess one way of doing it. Kind of cheesy Land Rover, but, you know, whatevs. Now let's harvest the good one. A little bit harder because you don't want to damage what you got. All right, so that's black. All right, totally repaired harness. So let's cut this hole and see if we can put it all back together again. All right, let's see what we got. So, is it pretty? Not exactly, but it does look, you know, just for reference. There's the correct version. There's this version. The question is it functional? Oh. Oh! Insulation cleaned out. Wiring harness is installed. If this works, million times easier than taking it out through the back with these holes. Let's set the light down in here and see if all this works. Look good, except the more I bend that wire, the more that breaks. So a little bit more tape and we'll hook everything up. So all those connections are done. It is ready to go. And I think I'm gonna take this apart and clean it up a little bit because it's kind of gross. So this is going to be pretty simple, actually. This little piece right here is actually one screw, and then they're just kind of hinged in place. And then two more screws, and this will lift right out, and you've got total access to this. So, you know, if you were bored and wanted to put in like LED rings or paint this or do something crazy, this would be how you do it. Not that difficult, in case you don't want to change a 06 headlight into an 09 headlight, because why on earth would anybody want to do this? There you go, practical information. That's why we clean the inside of that lens. So inside simple glass cleaner works great. And the outside, in order to get rid of that butyl rubber, just a little mineral spirits works perfect. Dissolves that right out. So I will probably still need to polish the lens on this. I've done these once before, but they do get worse over time, and it's still pretty scratched up. But the inside of it's clean, everything's clean. So we're gonna put this back together and I guess put it back in the oven to melt the butyl rubber. I don't know, never really gotten this far before. Well, that, you know, actually wasn't so bad. I mean, that rubber, it's super cold, so the rubber's not very sticky. So we're gonna put this back in the oven and flow it at, what did I do last time? 225? Yeah, except this time we're gonna warm the oven up first so that the heat of the burners don't try to melt the plastic. Yeah, so put this in the oven for 10 minutes and see if we can soften this rubber up. Hot, 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 hot. All right, super cool. This is exactly what we wanted to happen. So this gap right here has closed up, meaning the lens has sunk down, and this gap is nice and tight now. It's not bulging. So this butyl rubber has gotten completely soft, which means should be waterproof now. So we just gotta put those modules on, and still warm, still warm. Cool. So modules go on, and caps go on, and then we put it on a car. And just like that, I am done. So if that works, well, we'll see. But I have converted the 06 without the AFS. I don't know what that means. Without the steering, adaptive headlight steering. We have taken the broken parts from our 09 headlight, used them to fix the 06 headlight and convert it in so that it'll work on this Range Rover. And if this works, this has saved me, what, $600, $700, $800? So let's, you know, shove it in here and see if it turns that warning light off. Almost forgot the drain tubes. I am so glad I just noticed that. So let's put you guys on first. Oh, I forgot those 2 screws. Okay, let's fix that first. All right, so the real test is going to be whether or not this light turns off. And I may have to reset the battery too, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm a little worried about it. This is taking me 3 days, and it's $800. Well, that's freaking awesome. And everything works. So that's fantastic, because that now saves me a lot of money. Just think, all we needed to do was convert a 2006 non-automatic headlight module, whatever, to one that is. And now that I know how easy that is too, it kind of makes me want to do something cool, like paint them body color or put in like LEDs or just change them altogether. That seems like a really dangerous thing, especially for a truck that I'm probably gonna sell. So there you go. Tune into the next whatever episode, because we still have that airbag light to address. Still gotta paint it. Oh, and the headliner. So we gotta take care of all those projects before this thing is done, so to speak. And we have officially turned an 06 Range Rover into an 09 Range Rover. So if you enjoy this, subscribe, there'll be more. And then if you don't enjoy this, tell me I suck and that there's much cooler people on the internet that you would like to watch. See you next time.